Imagine being the firstborn son to a Somalian warrior in a conflict territory where you were raised to fight, with honor being your code, and there's no room for fear. You've been prepared for anything. You're trained to be unbreakable. Then you relocate to America and discover the battle that's being fought on this soil was something that you were unprepared for. The psychological traumatization from America's racism breaks you, chips at your confidence, and ultimately retreats you back to your homeland. The Bruh's Bookshelf presents to you Boyah J.Farah's memoir, America Made Me a Black Man. Give it up.
This is the land of fragrance. You know what that means? In the American malls, when you go inside the mall, it smells fragrance. This land is blessed by God. It smells like cologne. It feels better than Kevin Klein Obsession, better than Versace, better than, it's natural. You know, it's God sent. This is the land I was born. This is the land that prepared me for America. This is the land that prepared me for war. This is the land that prepared me for many, many challenges in life. This is where I used to, run around when I was a child as a nomad. My grandmother used to live here. My uncles used to live here. As a child, the land belonged to me. The trees belonged to me. The goats belonged to me. It was me and God. There's nothing else. I believe in God. I believe in the land. I believe in the freedom. Then war came like a drifting hurricane. War came to my land. And then we had to walk away. We went to America not knowing that I'm a black man in America. I thought I was a guest. When my grandmother used to live here, we used to honor the guest. When someone comes in from other lands, we used to give them food. We used to give them a shelter. We used to honor them. And I thought, when I get to America, that Americans will honor me the way my grandmother used to honor the guest. I thought I was a guest. But 30 years of living in the US, I found out one thing. Black people, even though they're born in America, I feel as if they are immigrants. When your own country rejects you, what do? If I didn't have a place like this to escape, where would an African-American child go? Where do they belong? What happened to their identity? What happened to their country? What happened to the streets they used to drive around when they were a child? What happened to the food? What happened to everything when you're rejected? So this particular book that I wrote, America Made Me a Black Man, it's a metaphor for that pain. But I'm glad to be back to restart the journey of my life. I like every black child to feel the freedom of my childhood. And to be free is to be American, I believe. The word American says, I'm an American means you're free. But can an African-American child feel that way? Can an African-born American feel that way? I'm an African-born American. African-American is an American-born African. But the pain is democratic. Racism is democratic. And that's what bothers me. I am free. I was born free. I should live free. For 30 years of living in the US, it's a remarkable thing. I'm a US educated African. I'm a US educated African American. I have multiple identities. One of the identities I carry, I'm a survivor. Not just a survivor of war, but I'm a survivor of polio. And this is where I actually got the polio from. I don't know if you can see, there used to be an anthill here, not far from here, where I used to play when I was a child. And that's why I got the disease from there. I actually write about that in the movie. Story of my life is a story of humanity. Story of my life is a story of America. Story of my life is a story of war. Story of my life is a story of what does it mean to lose your identity. What does it mean to feel less of a human being? At least when I was in the war, War was constant. You pick up a gun and fight. Your own friends died. Maybe you shed one tear, but you move on. In a refugee camp, the same thing happened. You get dengue, you get malaria, you die, or you live. There's nothing. I know peace, and I know war, but I do not know racism. Racism in America is a systematic. It has no eyes, it has no ears, it has no feet, it has no weapons. It's like a disease, it's like a cancer. You do not know when you're gonna get a cancer. Life is real, death is real, destiny is real. I absolutely hate racism because racism is a form of psychological warfare. It breaks you down before you even get up. And I absolutely hate that. I absolutely hate that. So I came back to this land to try to rediscover, what I lost. I lost my identity. I lost my manhood. America, you put what it means to be a black in my belly. And as a writer, my mother told me that writers never get upset. Writers write. Writers produce. The good things, I'm going to produce literature. And that literature will help human beings. It'll help the children of humanity. It will help the children of mankind. It'll help the American children, the one who are unborn, the one who are born. My pain becomes a lesson for you. I have been running all my life. I'm still running. My only residence of life is literature. I shall write to you. You shall listen to my literature. It's a warning for the living. It's a warning that if we don't get along, we don't tell the truth, we will perish. Death awaits you. Death awaits me. Death awaits all of us. There's enough resources in this land. Look at this. As far as your eyes can see, this land belongs to my ancestral land, the land of my grandmother. But look at it, it's empty. It's a God's land. It really is a God's land. But what it does to me when I come back here is it restores what's lost in America. What is restored by literature, physically, mentally, land restores it. I do not want to cry. You shall never see my tears. But sometimes I do want to cry, for I am human. Human beings cry. What makes me upset is when I see human beings go through trouble and go through pain and war and tragedies. I cry for the children of Syria. I cry for the children and women and children of Ukraine. I cry for black boys and girls of America as being systematically destroyed by evil racism, psychological warfare. I cry for human beings. I like human beings to dance together and get along in a very harmonious way. When I was writing the story, my life, this is what I imagined. My imagination, it's not really an imagination. I really didn't have to imagine anything. This was my life. You see all the animals in this valley. There's water. There's goats, there's sheep, and there's land. If this doesn't prepare you, I don't know what will. This is what prepares the nation of poets, the boys from the nation of poets. This is what prepares them for life, a life of pain, a life of tragedy, a life of what it means to be a warrior. I am an African American. I am an African warrior. I am a Somali warrior. This is what I was prepared for. But I'm turning all of that into literature. And we shall see.